After Jennifer Williams accuses an ex-boyfriend of stealing her Range Rover, the ex responds with Jennifer's text messages about Evelyn Lozada, Malaysia Pargo, Evelyn's daughter, and Shawnee O'Neal. Get into this.
Well, he's a cute guy. I might put him in Potomac. Okay, yes. Yeah, he can come right on to Potomac.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Richie Scott, back with another story. Got this tea right here. Go ahead and click that link in the description down below to get yourself some. Or if you want to join my team and sell some yourself, go ahead and click that link just as well. Okay, now we're back with the good tea on that good Jennifer Williams. Okay. Okay. So this story is quite weird, and it's taken an interesting new direction. Now, let's start at the beginning. So last week, when we told you guys about Jennifer Williams making a post about her Range Rover being stolen by a man, in that post, she did not mention that this man was her boyfriend, and I did ask, had they been dating or something like that? So apparently this was an ex. And for those of you who do not know, let me go ahead and refresh your memory or introduce you to the story for the very first time so that you guys can know exactly what I'm talking about. And then we're gonna turn and talk about how this whole situation has spiraled into something completely different, okay? So first things first, let's get into what Jennifer posted last week, okay? She says, I'm asking for some help finding my Range Rover that this man, Aaron Nichols, stole from me. He goes by many aliases, including Nick, Daniel, or Kris. He has conned many women and men too out of vehicles and large amounts of cash. Lives in the Atlanta area and frequents Detroit, Houston, and Vegas. If you have seen him or are a victim of his antics, please DM me. Email my attorney, Jeremy Hernan, or contact the Smyrna Police Department in Georgia as there is an active investigation going on. Thank you in advance. Hashtag find my range. Hashtag American greed. Hashtag lawyered up. Hashtag repost. Hashtag justice will be served. Now, last week I think it was last week. Yeah, it was last week. I got the message from one of the Sky Squad members that said, hey, you need to cover this. So I thought to myself, okay, you know, if the police are involved, it must be a thing. Let's jump on it and let's let the people know exactly what's going on. But of course, I had questions as well, okay? I wanted to know the backstory about the situation. So I wanted to know the who, what, where, and why. Had they been dating? What was going on? I needed to know because I kind of wanted to know what exactly she had gotten herself into that I was basically posting on, you know, YouTube for everybody to understand and know about, okay? So the story gets deeper. She goes and she talks to the Breakfast Club and she basically sort of spilled the beans that they did in fact used to date, that she didn't really know his real name until much later because apparently the name that he went by was not the name that he gave, was not his real name, and that she met her his daughter and she didn't get the real name from the daughter either. And then come to find out that this man has done this to a variety of different people, including other men, okay, as well. There have been men that come forward as well to tell stories about this man. And even on that same post, somebody had written, he did the same thing to my friend Ellie. Stole her S550 Benz that she didn't let up. She got her ish back. This was a few years ago. Sad, okay? So she went up to the Breakfast Club to talk about it. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of audio from that. And then we're going to discuss everything that he had to say in response to what she is saying. Okay, get into this.
Relationship at one point, so I trusted him. I gave him my car to basically put up and hold for me because obviously I can't drive two vehicles. And you know, when I got settled into my house, I asked him for my car back, and he would not give me my car back. He stopped answering my phone calls, and my Range Rover basically disappeared. So what I come to find out in doing a little investigating, one, he told me his name was Daniel Nichols, which was a lie. His name is actually Aaron Nichols. And the way that I found that out was I had to actually Google his mother's obituary. And that's when I found what his real name was. I found this article on Lipstick Alley where I connected with Ramona. And I realized that this man has been doing this for quite some time. Actually, probably 20 years or so.
Wow. Okay, so just to break it down, so you guys have been dating. At that time, were you still in a relationship?
No.
Okay, so this was like an ex, but you guys were still cool. So he was doing you a favor.
Yes, and I moved to Atlanta. I don't know a lot of people there. He was in the car business. And he was, you know, he was like, listen, I can hold a car for you. It's not a big deal. And I was like, okay, like, great. I didn't have anywhere to put the car and I was leaving out of town. So I figured, all right, well, I'll just give you my car to put up, not to drive around, but just to hold my vehicle. And then he just never gave it back.
Now, some people were saying, I noticed, oh, well, don't you Google somebody when you're dating them? How do you not know this? Had you met any of his family members, any of his friends? And had you Googled the name that he gave you as his name?
Yes, I did Google his name and nothing comes up because one, it's not his real name. He told me his name was Daniel Nichols. And what I have learned throughout this whole process is that he goes by different aliases. And so I had met one of his daughters, but I mean, she wasn't gonna tell me his real name, you know, she calls him dad. So I met some people that were his friends, but he goes by Nick. So he doesn't even go by his real name because his last name is Nichols. So that's just kind of his nickname.
So there you have it. I mean, there's so much more to that interview. I'm gonna put the link for it in the description down below so that you guys can watch it for yourself. I will say this, I would definitely tell you to tune into the interview. It is very informative. They have another person on there that she actually had a story to tell, that she connected with Jennifer after hearing Jennifer's story, and they basically had commiserated to sort of find this man and find out all these other people he had been involved with and allegedly scammed. Jennifer's lawyer was also on the call as well, so you guys just watch that down below after you watch this video. Now, let's get into him retaliating to Jennifer by saying everything about her and Evelyn and Shawnee and Evelyn's daughter, because he exposed her text messages. Y'all know how I feel about that on this channel. Is nothing sacred anymore? Is anything sacred? I mean, for me, I feel like, I don't know, I don't get it. But anyway, let's get down to it because we got a lot to cover with this and I don't want to waste any time, okay? So he posts this. He says, the text messages read this: I hate these messy bees. Evelyn made me want to slap the S out of her. I should have leaked her daughter's nudes. I could have exposed her. So he writes, come on, Jen, when they go low, you go high, leave her kids out of it and keep it classy. And then she says, allegedly, but I want to break these bees, baby, all of them, especially Shawnee. She was talking ish about me, saying Shaq cheated on like it was a lie. Everyone knows he had kids behind her back. And Malaysia, or should I say ghetto LaQuisha, doesn't even have a mind of her own. Whatever Evelyn and Shawnee says, Malaysia hops on board. She licks their coochie. And he says this: I told you, get off the show anyways. It's just not working anymore for you and you don't need the drama. So he wrote in the caption, a big reason why I wanted to end things with Jennifer Williams is because she was such an ugly person on the inside and she was engulfed with fame and notoriety. She had asked me to be a love interest on her TV show. I declined over and over. Every conversation was about basketball wives and just downing a lot of women. Some of these women ironically being the same ones in her comments supporting her right now. When we would be together, she would be on her phone the entire time, scrolling social media, which I thought was very childish. She would also create and leak stories to the media. Once she asked me if I knew someone who would release Evelyn Lozada's daughter nudes. I was totally disgusted with her. And then he tags Hollywood Unlocked, Baller Alert, Shaded Room, Breakfast Club, See the God, DJ Envy, and Angela Yee. Now, on Monday, just before she detailed the incident with Angela Yee, he took to Instagram to share his side of the story. So that's when all of these text messages came out. So then he further releases more text messages that say this. She says, when I was in LA, you never had time for me, so picked up and moved to Georgia thinking it would bring us closer together, but instead you say you don't want to deal with me anymore. Total waste of time. You make me hate ever meeting you. And then he says, really? Wow, I've been nothing but good to you. I told you not to move here because I knew you wanted a real relationship and I didn't want the same thing. We can always remain friends and make it all connected. So then in the next post, he writes, Jennifer moved to Georgia to be with me. I told her not to, but she did anyway. When I first met her, I told her I was not interested in being serious because I had just ended a relationship with my child's mother and wasn't ready, but she continued to call and text me. It got to the point that I had to block her on social media. She begged me to follow her back. In the past, I admit that I have just ghosted women without explanations and thus left them very angry with me and wanting vengeance. But recently, since I've been seeing a counselor, I've tried to be better in how I end relationships with people. This is why I first tried to talk to Jennifer Williams face to face about wanting to end it, but she wouldn't take no for an answer. I ended up having to block her phone numbers too, and not once did I ask for any car, jewelry, purse, or any money back. She threatened to ruin me because I didn't want to be with her. F you, Nick. You're a total dick. You've been sending me mixed signals since day one. I've tried to do all I can to show you how bad I wanted to be with you, but now I'm glad I see you clearly. You're dead to me. You'll regret this. I'll ruin you. Why are you always turning things into the extreme? He said. I just don't want to fight. I just want us to be cool. Why can't you respect that without getting crazy? And then she says something like, I don't give a F about any of that. I want all of my ish back. I'm suing you and putting you on blast. You completely broke my heart. You were never serious about me and I kept overlooking all the signs. F you. You regret effing with me. I have the power to make ish happen. And then, apparently later, she says, call me. Now these were back in November. She says, I don't like that I'm in the same state as you, going through hell, and you haven't even attempted to come see me in days. That's not cool. When you ask me for something, I do it, even if I have to go out of my way. You never sent the list of buildings that I've been asking about for days. I'm just out here on my own for real. And he says, shaking my head, why are you always complaining about stuff? And then there's another message that says something like, I'm lying. And then she says, well, we had one or two, but you are exaggerating. I think it's ridiculous. You have me blocked and I can't send you DMs, but people send you DMs about me. Make it make sense. And then he says, I haven't gotten DMs about you in forever, Jay. I'm so not exaggerating. You be on one. So then finally he addressed the missing Range Rover. He says, Jennifer Williams gave me this truck in November 2019. I got a call from the police department in March 2020, and now April 5th, 5 months later, she's telling the world it's stolen. Who waits 5 months to report their car stolen? The police have not pressed charges because I didn't steal anything from her. As far as people in the comments have already said, you can easily track a Range Rover. He even said he paid off the Range Rover, adding that I've never stolen a car, washed a title, or retagged any vehicle. I don't even know how to do that. I've worked as a consultant middleman in numerous deals. Most were successful and some fell through, but I've never scammed anyone. These accusations are lies. So then there's more text messages with him saying something like, have a safe trip back, Jen. I'm sorry. And she says, I'm straight on you being rude. I didn't say for you to leave me alone. You don't check on me or call me, so it seems you've been left alone, so I get it. That's why I said I'm straight. Clearly you are going through something that you are taking out on whoever. And then it says something to the effect of, look at 50 Cent's IG talking about Tank. Shaking my head. Oh, and can you unblock me and follow me, please? And thank you. This is on October 24th. No, you be bugging on IG. You know how many bad arguments we've had because of IG. She says, don't try it, that's BS. You just told me the other day you were doing it. You on something. So I'm gonna play all of these text messages for you. It's a whole lot that he has posted. But it just, if these are Jennifer's phone number, it does sort of make her seem, you know, like they were in some sort of very serious thing, and she is bitter about it, okay? She's asking for all types of things with his time and stuff like that. And then he even shows a payoff for a loan and says, I paid off the Range Rover I'm accused of stealing. He says, for the record, I've spent so much money on Jennifer Williams, it's ridiculous that she would make these accusations. I never stolen from her. I dropped the down payment for a Ferrari. I gave her $33,000 to pay off the very Range Rover I'm accused of stealing, as well as giving her tens of thousands more dollars as gifts too. She did the same for me, bought me a Bentley, gave me tens of thousands of dollars, paid for vacations, trips, etc. Everything was mutual, and if anybody is out of pocket, it's me. For anybody to say I stole or tricked them into giving me money, it's ridiculous. I've never stolen a car, washed a title, or retagged any vehicle. I don't even know how to do that. I've worked as a consultant middleman in numerous deals. Most were successful and some fell through, but I've never scammed anyone. So after Aaron released his text messages, Jennifer released some of her own. She says this: "So I hear this scam artist is making up fake text messages along with my phone number. Not really surprised. Drop the real-ish con man." Okay, and so then she screen records a couple of text message conversations that they have had that you guys can see on the screen. And then she says, "More real receipts on the money you owe me. Should I post your bank info too? Don't play with me with all this fake-ish. Return all these people's money you stole and cars. Stop trying to deflect. Nobody wants you with your 10 kids that you don't take care of. Hashtag loser." Well, I mean, at some point you wanted him, so I mean, nevertheless. Then she says, "Now what part did I tell you to take the keys to my range? Next, I'm going to drop my title that you forged my signature on and got a $50,000 check and tried to deny it. Don't play yourself with these fake texts. Felon on the loose." So honestly, this does sound like a breakup that's going wrong, but you know, I am sympathetic to her story because as I listened to her story, coupled with this other woman's story on the Breakfast Club, coupled with the fact that there's seemingly tons more stories that are very similar to this, I'm gonna side on the side of Jennifer at this point in time, simply because it seems as though there's mounting evidence to point out that he might just be the sort of con artist that they are saying that he is. But obviously we are not the judge and the jury here on this channel. This is not the court of law, so far be it from us to sort of say who's right or wrong in this situation. What I will say is this: I do hope that this is a lesson for Jennifer and anybody out there who is listening to this, to just be very careful with who you trust, who you come into contact with. You know, honestly, as much as we would like to sort of trust our hearts in certain situations when we meet people, really at the end of the day, we don't always really know where people's true intentions lie. And I think that in the future, I would definitely want her to be a bit more careful with the guys that she does choose to date. Obviously, she goes into these situations probably with the best of intentions, like most of us, but ultimately it seems as though she continues to find herself in patterns with guys who really could be a lot toxic for her and don't necessarily have the best of intentions for her. But you guys let me know what you think down in the comment section down below. I do have to note that since Aaron has released those text messages, it is now a scrubbed Instagram account, meaning that there is nothing there at the time being. So it's very interesting. We do have a post and delete type situation going on here, but I did want to bring you guys this situation because it is currently going down right now on social media. You can check Jennifer Williams' page. You guys can check the Breakfast Club page. You guys can try to check his page if you can. As of the current time period, I can't find anything on his page. So let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell button, and I will see you in the next video.